The sun was setting over the city of Nova Delhi. A warm orange glow painted the sky. Inside the dusty control room of the Global Space Research Agency, Dr. Raheel Khan stared at the monitors. He had recently come out of retirement for one reason. A strange signal that only he could decode. For weeks, the signal had been growing stronger. It came from deep space and repeated the same sequence again and again. At first, everyone at the agency thought it was noise or a glitch. But Raheel knew it was different. He believed it carried a message, one that no one else understood. The other scientists called him paranoid. But he had spent a lifetime in space code breaking and diplomacy. His instincts were sharp. He whispered to himself, "Listen carefully. Something is happening." Night fell. The monitors blinked with scrolling lines of data. Raheel's hands hovered over the keyboard. He tapped a few commands, isolating the signal amid all the data. And then he saw it. The sequence spelled 3. Words in a code he'd once helped create. Words he could translate. "We are coming," his heart pounded. He whispered the translation out loud. "We are coming." A chill ran down his spine. He rose and paced the room, looking for anyone. Every corridor outside was empty. His voice cracked. "Hello? Anyone?" Nothing. He reached for the red alert phone, a backup line directly to the agency director. But his hand trembled so hard, he could not dial. He stared at the handset. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The entire building shook with a distant boom. One of the monitors went black. Outside, a low rumble rolled over the city. Raheel rushed to the window. The moon was high in the sky, but a strange glow lit the horizon. It looked like fire, or falling stars. He pressed his forehead against the cool glass. Dozens of bright shapes fell from the sky. They burned like meteors but moved at impossible speeds, straight and silent. They pierced the clouds without noise or trail. They were not meteors. Raheel grabbed his coat and ran down the stairs. Many lights were out. Emergency sirens wailed in the city, but nobody seemed to be evacuating. He pushed past a security guard who stood frozen. "Go to the safe." "Room," Raheel shouted. The guard shook his head and stumbled, muttering. Raheel moved past him. He reached the main door and charged into the crowded streets. Above him, more lights fell. Their shapes shifted. They were too perfect, too straight and bright. One slammed into a wide street 2 blocks ahead. A wave of dust and concrete erupted. People screamed and fled in all directions. Cars crashed. One bus tipped over. The air filled with panic. Raheel shielded his eyes from bright flashes. He tried to push forward, to follow the direction of impact. He needed answers. He reached the edge of the blast zone. Around him, chaos ruled. People fled with suitcases. Others ran barefoot. Mothers clutched their children. Buildings cracked, windows shattered. Dust coated everything. The echo of destruction filled him with dread, and then he saw it, emerging. From the smoke, like a huge black bird with no wings, was an alien ship. It rested on crushed pavement. Its shape looked alive, dark, smooth, and silent. No flame, no sound, no sign of movement yet. But the atmosphere felt electric, heavy. Raheel put a hand to his mouth. He took a careful breath. The ship's surface rippled. Lights blinked along its edges like eyes opening. A low hum filled the air. It was not mechanical. It was organic. Alien. Then, from somewhere deep inside the ship, a section of its hull slid open. The ground shook again. From the opening descended a ramp. It touched the earth. And standing on it were the first of the invaders. They were thin and tall, over 7 feet each, with elongated limbs. Their skin was pale, almost white. Their heads were big, with no hair. 2 dark eyes stared without expression. No mouth moved. They wore armor that fused with their bodies. They stepped onto Earth quietly. Raheel stumbled backward. He looked around. Soldiers in olive green rushed forward, rifles raised. They screamed orders. Within seconds, they fired. The aliens made no gesture in defense. The bullets ricocheted off their suits as if water hit stone. The soldiers froze. The aliens continued walking, slowly, stepping through the debris. No fear, no anger, no rage, only focus. Then one stopped and looked at the soldiers. And its eyes changed bright red dots that flashed and glowed. The soldiers froze mid-breath. Their weapons fell from their hands. They collapsed, unconscious. Raheel watched in horror as other soldiers advanced. They too fell. Like puppets whose strings were cut, the aliens had come with power over minds. Raheel's phone rang. He fumbled to answer. He saw the ID, Director GSRA. He whispered, "Hello?" The director's voice came weak and shaking. "Raheel, something's happening. The signal, it's them. They've arrived." Raheel said urgently. "What do we do?" The director replied. I don't know. They've just arrived over 3 continents already. We can't stop them." His voice broke. "You must hide. Go to the secure lab. Use the codes you know. I'm sending the instructions." Before Raheel could respond, the line went dead. He swallowed. He looked again at the alien. They were stepping off the ship, grouping. One raised a hand, and the air vibrated with power. 5 soldiers near Raheel collapsed forward. Raheel dropped to his knees. He felt tears in his eyes. Never before had he felt so powerless. He wanted to run, but he knew he could not. He picked up a piece of debris, a broken glass pipe. He held it like a weapon. It shook. The aliens moved methodically, scanning, capturing. They made no sound except that heartbeat hum, like a slow drum. The sky was silent of birds. The city seemed to hold its breath. Raheel's mind raced. He had seen their ship's code in the signal. He had translated their message, "We are coming." He had warned, but it came too late. Still, he had something they did not have: knowledge. He had to use it. He rose and began to run, not toward the ship, but away, into the labyrinth of nighttime. City streets. His coat flapped like wings, but gave no comfort. He passed a family, a father shielding his teenage daughter. They looked at him, eyes wide. They fled without asking questions. He ran further. Dust and smoke mixed in the air. Choking, blinding, he found an alley and ducked behind a dumpster. His heart pounded. He held his breath, listening. In the far distance, he heard orders. Alien voices, soft and clear, calling coordinates. They spoke with no accent. Straight, harsh. Human ears could understand. Zone Alpha, proceed. They were using human language. Raheel realized they must have intercepted global transmissions already. They knew everything about Earth. They were prepared. His mind whirled with questions. Who were these aliens? Why did they come? What did they want? Weren't they supposed to be peaceful? Or were they here to judge, to destroy? From the ruins of the street came a woman's scream. It cut through the night. It was close. Very close. Raheel weighed his choices. He could run. He could hide. Or he could help her. He swallowed and stood. Against every instinct, he stepped forward toward the sound. He followed the scream to the end of the alley. The smoke cleared to show the collapsed remains of a small community center. Inside, a group of survivors pressed themselves against a wall. They held candles. Their faces were pale, terrified. A tall, slender alien hovered by the door. One member of the group, a man with a gray beard, stood, calm but shaken. He held his hands up. The alien's eyes glowed, and the man froze. The alien pointed at the survivors. Clearly in order, Raheel crouched behind a pillar. He had no weapon. No backup, nothing but the code in his head. He needed a plan. Suddenly, the man with the gray beard drooped. He slumped, dead, not shot, frozen. Like the soldiers, The survivors gasped, several fainted. The alien stared at them. Then it swept past the bodies and out the door, back to the ramp. In silence, the survivors lay in their tracks, still alive but unconscious. When the alien left, they collapsed fully to the floor. Raheel crept to a survivor's side. A middle-aged woman. He knelt and checked her. She was breathing shallowly. Alive. He closed his eyes in relief. He helped her lean on him. He whispered, "Wake, please wake." Her eyelids fluttered. She opened her eyes slowly, bloodshot. She saw Raheel's face. Fear turned to confusion. "Who are you?" She whispered. He took a breath. "I'm no hero. I'm Dr. Raheel. I knew this was coming." She stared. This is unstoppable. They kill with mind." Her eyes rolled. Raheel looked up toward the open door. No sign of aliens. "They had moved on," he said softly. "They think they have won. But they don't know how much we understand them yet. I need to see the director's codes. I need to." He placed a hand on her shoulder. "You're not alone." She nodded, fainting again. Raheel slid the candle off the ground and picked it up. The small flame flickered. He had to move. He gently carried her over his shoulder, careful not to wake motions or noise. He stepped outside. The night was empty. Streets were hollowed by fire and dust. Lights flickered in the distance. But there in the darkness, amid the hush of alien control, he felt a spark. He saw the deep, dark shape of the alien ship standing tall over the street, an obelisk of doom. But to his side, across the ruined avenue, a blue light flickered. A temporary power line, maybe. A sign of life. Maybe resistance. He straightened his back and walked toward it. Each step was measured. He cradled the woman gently. In his mind, the director's promise played over again. "Go to the secure lab. Use the codes you know." He whispered to the night, "I promise, I'll try." Behind him, the city lay silent, under the gaze of the Armada's ships and soldiers. But Raheel moved through the abyss with hope. The first clash had come. His part of the story was just beginning. The sky over Nova Delhi was no longer blue. Thick clouds of smoke covered the city, and the sun was a pale orange disk behind the haze. Alien ships hovered silently above, like giant birds of death, watching everything. Captain Zane stood on top of a broken flyover, staring through binoculars. His sharp eyes followed the movements of the alien drones flying below. He had been a Special Forces commander once. Now he was a fugitive. His unit was destroyed during the first attack. He was one of the few survivors from the army. The air smelled of fire and chemicals. Buildings burned slowly. Sirens wailed from far-off places. Zane lowered his binoculars and looked at the map spread across the hood of a wrecked car. "They hit every major communication center in 1 hour," he said, mostly to himself. Beside him, a young man named Haris typed on a battered laptop. "They're not just attacking cities," Haris said. "They're cutting off water, power, even food lines. They're here to make us weak first," Zane muttered. "Kill slowly. No mercy." Suddenly, the ground rumbled. A massive alien transport ship flew low over the city. Its shadow darkened the streets. People screamed and ran below. The ship was silent, but its presence brought panic. Zane watched it vanish into the mist. "That's the fourth one today," he whispered. "They're bringing more." He grabbed his radio. "Unit Echo, move to Checkpoint Delta. Confirm Dr. Raheel's location. He has information we need." Crackling static answered. Then a broken voice replied, "Echo here. Raheel escaped the space agency. He's alive, last seen heading south." Zane's face tightened. "Good, we need him. We move in 5. He packed the map, slung his rifle, and climbed down. The streets were full of burned cars and rubble. He walked past a group of civilians hiding in an alley. A woman reached out and grabbed his arm. Please, she whispered. Take my daughter. She's only 8. Zane looked into the girl's eyes, big, silent, afraid. He paused. She stays with you. But head north. There's an old army bunker. Sector 17. The woman nodded, eyes wet. Thank you. Zane moved fast. He had no time to save everyone. But he would fight to protect what remained. Meanwhile, in the broken research lab on the south side of the city, Dr. Raheel sat with his back against the wall. The woman he had rescued in Part 1, her name was Maya, rested on a pile of blankets. Her breathing was stronger now. Raheel was studying a small hologram projector. It showed the alien language, the same signal he had decoded. Lines and circles rotated in the air. These symbols, Raheel whispered, they're not just words. They're coordinates. They're telling us where they're going next. Maya opened her eyes slowly. You think they have a plan? Raheel nodded. Yes, and it's precise. They're not here to destroy us all at once. They want something first. Like what? She asked. He sighed. I don't know yet. But I know who might. He pulled a dusty file from his bag. Inside were old photographs, experiments, reports, and one strange image. A creature in a tube. Half human, half something else. Its eyes glowed faintly. Maya stared. What is that? Raheel closed the file. A mistake. A secret that was never meant to be known. Before she could ask more, the lab door creaked. Heavy footsteps echoed in the hall. Raheel grabbed Maya's hand and pulled her behind a desk. 2 alien drones entered, tall machines, moving like humans but with long arms and glowing red sensors. They scanned the room. One drone's sensor turned toward the desk. It took a step forward. Suddenly, a grenade rolled across the floor. Boom. The explosion shook the lab. The drones flew backward, crashing into walls. Zane stepped through the smoke, rifle raised. Dr. Raheel? Raheel peeked up. Captain Zane? Zane nodded. Come with me. Now they're tracking you. Raheel helped Maya up. She comes. 2. Zane nodded once. We move fast. The group sprinted through the back exit into the ruined street. Zane's team, 6 men and women in black gear, covered them from both sides. They reached an armored truck hidden under a fallen billboard. Inside, Raheel looked around. Where are we going? Zane replied. To the underground bunker. Sector 17. You said you had answers. I have more questions, Raheel said. Zane drove fast, avoiding broken roads. Drones flew above, but the truck was covered in stealth mesh, old military tech that blocked scanners. As they moved, Maya stared out the window. A girl stood on a rooftop, waving a red cloth. Her parents pulled her back inside. Raheel turned to Zane. You've seen them up close? Zane nodded. Yeah, I fought them. And they don't bleed. They don't speak. And they don't die easy. Raheel said slowly, they are not just machines. I think there's something more. Intelligent, strategic, and maybe angry. Zane said nothing. Later that night, the truck arrived at Sector 17, an old Cold War-era military bunker. The team moved fast underground, passing rusted gates and steel walls. Inside the control room, Zane spread the maps. Raheel added the alien coordinates he decoded. They're moving in patterns, Raheel said. They're looking for something. Zane pointed. This triangle, it surrounds an area near the Himalayas. Raheel's eyes widened. That's where the experiments were shut down 40 years ago, Maya asked. What experiments? Raheel hesitated. Humanity did something terrible. We found alien life in a crashed pod. Instead of helping, we experimented. We tried to create a hybrid. Zane narrowed his eyes. A child? Raheel nodded. Yes, we kept it hidden. It grew fast, intelligent. But then something went wrong. It vanished. Zane stood slowly. The aliens aren't attacking randomly. They're looking for that hybrid. Raheel looked at him. And if they find it? Zane replied coldly, they may not stop. Suddenly, an alarm blared in the bunker. Incoming. A soldier screamed. Drones breaching the outer gate. Zane shouted, defend positions. Raheel pulled Maya back. Stay low. The sound of gunfire filled the halls. Alien drones broke through steel doors like paper. Soldiers fought bravely. But the enemy was too strong. One by one, they fell. Zane fought at the front. His rifle clicked empty. He pulled out a sidearm and fired into the glowing core of a drone. It exploded, sending sparks everywhere. Another drone aimed at Maya. Raheel threw a metal rod, hitting the drone's sensor. It turned to him. Just as it charged, a young woman stepped from the shadows and raised her hand. The drone stopped mid-motion and powered down. Silence. Everyone stared. Zane asked, who are you? The woman's eyes glowed faintly. She said in a calm voice, my name is Ayla. Raheel gasped. You're the hybrid. Ayla looked at them. I've been hiding for years, but they found me. Now they will come. Zane raised his weapon slightly. Why didn't they kill you before? Ayla replied, because I'm part of them and part of you. Everyone was silent. Then, deep above, a new sound roared, loud, heavy. Unlike before, Raheel whispered, that's not a drone. Zane looked at the screen. A massive ship hovered over the city. Ayla said softly, the Armada is waking up. This was just the first strike. The bunker was quiet now. Smoke floated in the air. Broken drones lay scattered on the floor. Some still sparked, twitching. The soldiers who survived stared at Ayla with wide eyes. She had stopped the attack. With just her hand. Captain Zane stood in front of her, gripping his rifle tightly. He didn't trust easily. Are you really her? He asked. The hybrid? Ayla nodded slowly. I was born in a secret lab. They made me from human and alien cells. Then they locked me away. Doctor. Raheel stepped forward, eyes filled with shock and curiosity. But how did you escape? Ayla looked down. A scientist helped me. She raised me like her daughter. Taught me to hide, to survive. When she died, I ran. Maya watched quietly, feeling something strange in her chest. She wasn't afraid of Ayla. In fact, Ayla's presence felt peaceful, calm, almost familiar. But why now? Zane asked. Why are they coming after you after all these years? Ayla looked up at the ceiling as the ground vibrated again. They didn't know where I was, until someone sent out a signal. Raheel's face turned pale. The transmission I decoded. I thought it was random alien language. Ayla shook her head. It was a call, a message to me. They were trying to reach their own. Zane's voice was sharp. And now they know you're here. Ayla nodded. But why would they attack the whole planet just for you? Maya asked. Ayla's voice grew softer. Because I'm not just part of them. I'm something new. Something they fear. Silence fell again. Then, a loud mechanical sound echoed from the control room. One of the captured alien drones, badly damaged, lit up on its own. Lines of strange alien code filled the screen next to it. Everyone froze. Raheel ran to the console. Wait, it's sending a message again. He typed quickly, decoding symbols into basic English. The screen flickered. Return the key, or Earth will burn. What key? Zane asked. Raheel looked confused. I don't. Ayla stepped forward. They mean me. Zane's jaw clenched. They want you back. They think I'm a mistake, Ayla said. But they also think I'm dangerous. Raheel studied the code. This message is different. It's not a warning. It's a countdown. He looked up, alarmed. We have 72 hours before a full planetary invasion. Zane gathered the remaining team. They set up more defenses around the bunker. The soldiers were tired, wounded, and shaken, but they followed orders. Zane's voice. "Remain steady. We hold this line," he said. "We protect Raheel, Maya, and Ayla at all costs." Raheel pulled Zane aside. "I think Ayla can help us." "She's just a girl. She's not just anything," Raheel said. "She's part of both sides. She might be the only bridge we have." Zane didn't like it, but he nodded. In the corner, Maya sat with Ayla. They were about the same age, but Ayla felt much older. There was a deep sadness in her eyes. "Do you remember your mother?" Maya asked. Ayla nodded. "She called me her miracle, but others called me a weapon. You don't look like a weapon." Ayla smiled slightly. "Thank you." Then her eyes suddenly glowed dim blue. Maya leaned back. "What's happening?" Ayla closed her eyes. "I can hear them." Raheel rushed over. "You're picking up something?" Ayla opened her eyes. "Yes, they're speaking to me. Not with words, but with thoughts." Raheel grabbed a device and turned it on. "Try to focus. Try to repeat what you hear." Ayla nodded. She held the device. Then she spoke slowly, like in a trance. "They are searching. They are angry. The key was stolen. The humans lied. The child is dangerous. End her. Before she ends us." Everyone stared in silence. Raheel whispered, "They're scared of her." Zane added, "That means she's powerful." Ayla whispered, "They think I can destroy their Mindlink, the way they communicate. If I break it, they lose control." Raheel looked stunned. "So that's it. You're not just a hybrid. You're a threat to their entire network." Later that night, Zane stood on top of the bunker, watching the horizon. A distant fireball lit the sky. Another city hit. Maybe London, maybe Moscow. Hard to say now. Raheel came up beside him. "There's something else." Zane didn't look at him. "Go on. I found an old document in the data vault. The original team that made Ayla, they had one last project." Zane turned. A device. It was hidden deep in the Himalayas. They called it the Mirror. It was built to reflect any alien signal, even to block it. A defense weapon? Maybe. Or something more. Zane stared at the dark sky. "We need to reach it." Raheel nodded. "But it's far. Frozen terrain. No roads. And the aliens are watching. We'll find a way." Inside, Ayla sat alone in a cold room, staring at her hands. They glowed softly. Maya entered, holding a blanket. "You okay?" Ayla didn't answer. "I brought this, in case you're cold." Ayla looked up. "Thank you." Maya sat next to her. "You don't have to be afraid." "I'm not afraid for me," Ayla said quietly. "I'm afraid I might hurt everyone." Maya took her hand. "You won't. We're your friends now." For the first time, Ayla smiled, not small, but real. The next morning, Zane gathered the group. "We move at sunrise," he said. "We'll take a stealth plane from the hangar. If we can reach this mirror, we might have a way to stop them. Or at least slow them down," Raheel added. Ayla stood beside Maya. She looked stronger now. "More focused. Let's finish what they started," she said. Zane nodded. "Then gear up. We fly in 1 hour." As the team prepared, a loud hum echoed in the distance. A new ship arrived in Earth's orbit, larger than any before. Its shape was black, like a knife in space. From inside, a new figure watched Earth. It was not a machine. It was tall, cloaked. Its skin shimmered like metal, but its eyes burned gold. It spoke in a deep, alien voice. "The key is alive. And now we burn their world to take her back." Snow fell quietly across the ruins of an ancient city buried deep in the Arctic. This forgotten place, once full of life, now lay frozen and silent beneath thick layers of ice. The wind whispered through the broken towers, like voices of ghosts. Trapped in time. Captain Zane looked out across the icy wasteland, his face serious. Behind him stood Maya, Dr. Raheel, two soldiers, and Ayla, the mysterious girl with alien energy in her blood. They had traveled far, following clues that led them here, to a place erased from Earth's maps. Ayla stood still. Her glowing blue eyes scanned the land as if she could see something hidden from the others. "It's not just cold here," she whispered. "It's sad. This place remembers pain." Dr. Raheel checked his scanner. "We're standing on top of something. The energy levels are off the charts. This city wasn't built by humans. Or, at least not normal ones." Maya stepped forward. "You mean, this city was alien?" Raheel shook his head. "No, worse. I think it was built by humans, who worked with aliens thousands of years ago." Zane narrowed his eyes. "Before history?" Raheel nodded slowly. "This is prehistory. A part of Earth's past we were never supposed to know." A sudden beep came from Ayla's device. "They're watching us again," she said, her voice calm. "The Armada has eyes in the sky." Zane quickly ordered everyone to take cover. They hid inside a broken stone structure as a small alien drone flew overhead, scanning the ruins. It hovered for a few moments, then moved on. Zane waited until it was gone. "Move fast. Find the vault. We need answers." They descended into the frozen ruins. Stairs led them deep underground, into the heart of the lost city. Ice covered the walls, but strange symbols still glowed faintly beneath it. Glowing blue lines shaped like DNA and star systems. Ayla touched the wall gently. The symbols responded to her touch, lighting up and humming softly. Raheel stared in awe. It's like the city recognizes her. Maya looked confused. "How? Why her?" Ayla looked at them. "Because I carry the memories of both, human and alien. This city was made by people like me, hybrids." Everyone fell silent. They reached a massive door made of crystal and metal. In the center was a circular panel shaped like Ayla's hand. She stepped forward and placed her palm on the panel. The door lit up. Then, with a deep rumble, it opened slowly. Behind it was a chamber, warm, glowing, and filled with strange machines. In the center was a large, crystal-like core floating in midair. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Raheel whispered, This is a memory core." Zane looked around. "What does it do?" Raheel smiled nervously. "It stores the truth." Ayla approached the core. The moment she touched it, her body lit up. Visions flooded her mind. Her eyes rolled back and she collapsed. Maya screamed, "Ayla!" Zane caught her. "What's happening to her?" Raheel checked her vitals. "She's fine. I think she's downloading the memories from the core. It's showing her everything." Inside her mind, Ayla saw ancient Earth, thousands of years ago, cities that floated in the sky, humans who ruled with alien science, and then war, betrayal. The humans had made a deal with the first aliens, the Makers. In exchange for power, humans allowed the aliens to experiment with their DNA. That's how the first hybrids were born. Ayla was one of many. Created again many years later from lost genetic material. But then something went wrong. The humans turned against the Makers, using their own technology to destroy them. The sky burned. The world was nearly destroyed. The survivors buried the truth, erased it from history, and locked it inside this city. Ayla opened her eyes, breathing hard. Zane held her. "Are you okay?" She sat up slowly. "I saw it. The truth. We started this. The first war. The alien. Armada. They didn't come to invade. They came to punish us. For what our ancestors did." Maya looked shocked. "We were the bad guys?" Raheel whispered, "Not us, but our past. It's Earth's sin. And now it's returning." Suddenly the chamber lights turned red. The ground shook. Zane shouted, "What now?" Raheel checked the screen. "They've activated something, an ancient defense system." From the walls, machines began to rise, tall mechanical guardians with glowing eyes. They looked like statues but moved like hunters. Ayla stood. "They're not attacking us." Yet, a robotic voice filled the chamber. "Confirm identity." "Hybrid." Ayla stepped forward. "I am Ayla of Earth." The voice paused, then replied, "Echo recognized." "You are the echo of sin. You must choose." Zane stepped beside her. "Choose what?" "To awaken Earth's wrath or its redemption." The machine stood still, waiting. Ayla looked around. "If I choose wrath, it will unleash a weapon that could destroy the Armada. But it will also destroy half the planet." Raheel stepped forward. "And redemption?" "Redemption means I must go to their Mindlink, the hive, and convince them to stop, from inside." Zane was silent. "And what are the chances?" "They'll listen?" Ayla said nothing. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the ruins. Dust and ice fell from the ceiling. Zane raised his rifle. "They're here." Outside, alien dropships landed. Soldiers in black armor, not Reapers, but something. Worse poured into the ruins. Raheel screamed, "Those are the Silence troops. They don't speak. They don't stop. They're death itself." Maya aimed her weapon. "We have to hold them." Zane nodded. "Get Ayla to the portal chamber. We'll hold the line." Gunfire echoed through the halls as the team fought back. The Silence troops moved like shadows, fast and cold. One soldier fell. Then another. Zane and Maya covered Ayla and Raheel. As they ran, they reached the portal chamber, a round room with a glowing circle on the floor. Raheel activated it. "It's still working. We can send Ayla to the Mindlink hub, deep inside." "The Armada ship." Ayla turned to Zane. "If I don't come back." He shook his head. "Don't say that. You're coming back." Maya hugged her. "You're not just some weapon. You're our friend." Ayla smiled. "Thank you." She stepped into the portal. Blue light surrounded her dock. Just before she vanished, she turned back. "I'll find peace or die trying." Then she was gone. Back on the battlefield, Zane and Maya were surrounded, but just before the enemy could strike, the ancient guardians activated with a roar. The machines joined the fight, smashing the Silence troops with glowing blades. Raheel shouted, "She made the right choice." Earth chose redemption. But the battle was far from over. Far above, inside the command ship of the Armada, Zarian stared at the screen. "She's coming," he whispered. "The echo of Earth's sin." His eyes narrowed. "Prepare the Titans." The stars above Earth glowed like cold fire. But deep in space, beyond the clouds, something massive moved, slow, powerful, unstoppable. Inside the command ship of the alien Armada, Supreme Commander Zarian stood at the center of the bridge. His eyes, sharp and golden, stared at a hologram of Ayla's face. "She has entered the hive," he said softly. "She dares to speak peace. We will answer with thunder." Beside him, 5 giant machines stood silent. Each one was a towering monster, part machine, part creature. These were the Titans of Descent, ancient weapons of war built by the Makers. "Awaken them," Zarian commanded. A deep hum filled the ship as the Titans opened their eyes, glowing. Red orbs burning with power. Meanwhile, inside the hive. Iyla stood in a white, endless space. Voices echoed all around her, thousands of whispers, thoughts, memories. It was the alien hive mind, the network that connected every being in the Armada. She walked slowly, her feet not touching the ground. She wasn't in a room, she was inside their thoughts. Suddenly, a shape formed ahead, a figure made of light. "I am the voice of the Armada," it said. "You are the echo of Earth's sin." Ayla nodded. "I didn't start this war, but I want to end it." The voice replied coldly, "Why should we forgive?" Your kind broke the treaty. Your ancestors murdered the Makers. I know, she said. But I carry both bloods, human and alien. I am proof that we can become more than enemies. Silence. Then the voice spoke again. Your presence causes division. Half of the hive sees hope, half sees danger. She stepped forward. Then let me speak to all of them. Let me show them what Earth has become. The voice hesitated. Then, slowly, the hive opened. Ayla fell into a new space. Memories, visions, shared minds. She began to speak. And they listened. Back on Earth. Captain Zane, Maya, and Raheel watched the sky from the ruins. Something was falling. Fast. Zane used his scope. His heart dropped. They're sending them. Maya frowned. What is that? Raheel gasped. Titans, living weapons. The last time they were used. Entire planets vanished. 5 burning shapes entered Earth's atmosphere. Each one hit the ground like a meteor, shaking mountains, boiling oceans near impact zones. From the smoke they rose, each Titan over 100 meters tall. Some had wings. Some had arms like cannons. One looked like it was made from the bones of a giant. Zane said one word. Run. Chaos across the globe. In New York, the ground split as Titan Varnek the Breaker rose from beneath the city. In China, Titan Kelzar the Shrieking Wind flew through the sky, turning sound into weapons. In Africa, Draman the Void Eater absorbed all light around it, making cities vanish in darkness. Earth's defenses tried to fight back. Fighter jets, missiles, even nuclear weapons, but nothing worked. The Titans were immune. In the Arctic, BASEZ Aion's team was trapped. The ice cracked around them. Titan Threxel the Hollow One stood on the mountain above, staring at them with glowing, empty eyes. Raheel pulled up old Maker blueprints. There's one hope. Each Titan has a core, a heart of command. If we destroy that, it shuts them down. Maya asked, how do we even get close enough? Zane looked toward the ruins. We need help from those ancient machines, the Guardians. He activated the signal Ayla left behind. Deep below, the ground rumbled. The old Guardians of the Ice City rose again. More of them, bigger, stronger. The fight was about to begin. Guardian versus Titan. The battlefield turned into a clash of giants. Threxel roared as it fired beams of black energy at the Guardians. One was crushed instantly, but the others fought back, piercing the Titan's armor with glowing spears. The sky turned purple from the energy shocks. Zane and Maya ran under the chaos, trying to reach Threxel's control chamber. They finally found a weak spot, a panel of Maker symbols near its ankle. Raheel shouted into the radio, "Hit the red symbol. It'll open a path to the core." Zane aimed and fired. The panel exploded. A path opened. Inside the Titan, Zane and Maya climbed in, the walls shaking around them. Strange fluids ran through glowing pipes. The inside of the Titan felt alive. They reached the core, a spinning red orb covered in chains of alien language. As they moved closer, the orb spoke. "You are not worthy." Zane ignored it and placed the energy charge. But Maya stopped. "Wait, look at this," she said. She found a crystal inside, a brain. Raheel confirmed over radio. "It's not just a machine. It's part biological. Killing it will also kill a living being." Zane hesitated. "What do we do?" Before they could answer, the Titan shook. A voice boomed in their heads. "Stop." It was Ayla. Ayla's Mindlink message across Earth. Every screen flickered. Every soldier, every civilian, every Titan paused. Ayla's face appeared, calm and glowing. "I speak from the hive. I have shown them our memories, our pain, our change." She looked tired, but hopeful. They listened. "The hive has voted." She paused. And then she said the words that changed everything. "The war is over. if we accept peace. Zarian's choice on the Armada ship. Zarian crushed a metal bar in his fist. They want peace? He hissed, but then behind him, the Titans froze. His command staff stared at him, unsure. He turned slowly. And for the first time, Zarian looked uncertain. She changed their mind. He looked at a photo of old Earth, green fields, blue sky. Then he whispered, "So be it. But if they betray us again, no more warnings." He gave the command. Titans deactivated one by one. The Titans shut down. Their eyes dimmed. Their massive bodies fell to their knees, gently. Without further damage, Earth was saved, for now. Zane, Maya, and Raheel looked up at the silent Threxel. Zane whispered, "She did it." In the Hyvala collapsed. The connection ended. The voice of the Armada said, "You are not like them." She looked up weakly. "I am both." "Then you are the bridge." Epilogue. The Armada didn't leave. But they also didn't attack. Ships hovered silently above Earth, watching. On the ground, humans began to rebuild. And for the first time in centuries, they shared the sky with aliens, not as enemies, but something more complex. Ayla sat quietly on a hill, looking at the stars. Zane joined her. "Is it really over?" he asked. She shook her head. "It's just the beginning." Earth. The day after the Titans fell, the world was silent. Cities had stopped burning. Skies were no longer filled with fire. The alien Titans stood still like frozen gods, silent across the continents. People stepped out of shelters, looked up, and waited. The war wasn't over. It had only paused. Above Earth, the Armada flagship Oblivion, Ayla, stood alone in the grand hall of the alien mothership. Giant glowing pillars rose around her. Alien language moved across walls like liquid light. She waited until Commander Zarian entered. He wore his dark armor. His steps were slow and heavy. "You asked for peace," Zarian said coldly. "Yet Earth still points weapons at the sky." Ayla met his gaze. "Earth is afraid. Fear makes people hold on to weapons." "And fear," Zarian replied, "is the root of war." Silence fell. Zarian walked past her to a large star map. "You are both human and hybrid," he said. "You understand their fear. But you must also understand our pain." Ayla nodded. "I do. That's why I ask. Give Earth a chance to explain." Zarian turned toward her. "Then let them speak. One leader. One meeting. No lies, no tricks." Ayla took a deep breath. "Agreed." Location chosen. The Bridge of Remnants. Old spaceport in Sahara Desert. It was an ancient, half-buried maker site neutral ground. Half of the complex was buried under sand, but the central tower still stood. A glowing bridge connected the two great platforms, Earth's side and the Armada's. Ayla stood in the center of the bridge. To her left stood Earth's delegates, Captain Zane, Maya, General Rasa, and a UN speaker. To her right, the alien delegation, Commander Zarian, Elder Kaireen, and two armored guards. The wind blew hot across the desert. Both sides stood still. Then Ayla raised her voice. "This is not about power, not about punishment. This is about something harder, peace." The past exposed Elder Kaireen stepped forward. She was older, with silver markings across her face. "Peace," she said. "Your kind broke it once before. Earth murdered the makers." Zane stepped forward. "We didn't know. That was hundreds of years ago." Kaireen pointed at Ayla. "And yet, here she is, a child of stolen science. Proof that your kind still takes what is not yours." Tension rose. Zane looked at Ayla. She nodded gently. Zane spoke. "You're right. We took. We lied. But now, we ask not as enemies, but as survivors. Can we build something new?" Zarian's eyes narrowed. "And if we say no?" Zane said calmly. "Then Earth will fight until its last breath." Silence. The hidden threat far above, orbiting Earth in secret, was an Earth rogue satellite, Project Warden, It held a weapon built long ago before peace was ever an option. A failsafe. A nuclear pulse capable of wiping out half the Armada. It had been activated. Deep in a bunker, General Armin, a war-hungry leader, watched the diplomacy from a dark room. He didn't trust peace. "They're stalling," he growled. "Fire, Warden. End it before it begins again." His assistant hesitated. "But sir, Ayla's still on the bridge." "She's already one of them," he snapped. "Collateral damage." He pressed the code. A blinking red signal began to move toward space. The warning back on the bridge. Rahil's voice came through Ayla's earpiece. "Ayla, listen. Earth just launched something. Warden is online. It'll hit the Armada in 7 minutes." Ayla froze. She looked at Zarian. His eyes shifted. The Hive had sensed it too. "You tricked us," Zarian growled. "No," Ayla said quickly. "This wasn't authorized. Someone's acting alone." Maya pulled Zane aside. "It's Armin. We told them not to activate Warden. He's gone behind our backs." Ayla turned toward both sides. "If that missile hits, there's no going back." Zarian raised his arm. "I can order the Hive to destroy Earth's satellites right now. Please," Ayla begged. "Give me 5 minutes." Zarian stared at her, his hand still raised. 5 minutes, he said. "No more." Countdown, 4:52. Ayla activated her neural link. She connected directly to Earth's defense AI. She called every major Earth leader. "This is Ayla," she said, her voice shaking. "Abort the missile. Don't let one madman ruin everything." But the system was locked. Rahil shouted through the comms. "The only way to stop Warden is from the original bunker in Siberia." Zane's eyes widened. "That's 10 hours away." Ayla closed her eyes. She had one option. She turned toward Zarian. "Let me use the Hive link." He stepped back. "You want to connect with the Hive and Earth at once? It could burn your mind," Kayring warned. "No hybrid has survived that." Ayla stepped onto the bridge's center. "I'll try." The dual link. Ayla reached out one hand toward Earth's signal relay, one toward the Hive. Her body shook. Her eyes turned white. Voices screamed in her mind: human, alien, ancient, modern, angry, hopeful. She saw Earth's leaders shouting. The Hive's children crying. Cities dying. Planets falling, but also. She saw a future one where both sides stood together under twin suns. She reached deep into the system, into Warden's code, and spoke directly to the AI. "I choose peace." The missile froze mid-space, then. Self-destruct sequence activated. A bright flash lit the upper atmosphere. The weapon was gone. The decision. Ayla collapsed. Her skin burned with alien marks. Zane rushed to her. Zarian approached slowly. "She stopped your weapon," he said. Zane nodded. "Yes." At the cost of herself. Kareen looked at Ayla's glowing veins. "She is becoming something else." Ayla opened her eyes weakly. "Not human, not alien, just the bridge." Zarian looked toward the sky. "Very well," he said. "We agree to peace for now?" Zane asked. "And the Armada?" "We will remain above Earth," Zarian replied. "Not as rulers, not as enemies, but as watchers. If your world falls back to war, we return." The first treaty. Days later, on the same bridge, a new treaty was signed. No more secret weapons. Shared technology labs between humans and aliens. Ayla named Earth's interstellar envoy, but many didn't trust it. Protests broke out on Earth. Some in the Armada believed Zarian had grown weak. Peace had been made. But it was fragile. The final sentinel stood on the edge of the bridge at night. Stars above. Silence all around. Zane stood beside her. "You okay?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "I feel like I'm changing. I'm part of something bigger now." Zane looked worried. "Bigger how?" Before she could answer, her eyes glowed again. She whispered, "Something's coming. From beyond even the Armada." Zane froze. Another war? She turned slowly. No, something worse. She looked up far beyond the Armada's ships. Something moved in the dark. Something ancient. Something watching. Peace. But not silence. Earth was healing. Cities were rebuilding. Humans and the alien Armada had signed a fragile peace treaty. People hoped the war was over. But something was coming. It started with a sound, a strange frequency across Earth and Armada ships. Scientists heard a soft humming. At first, they thought it was just space noise. But then, it grew louder. It became a pattern. A signal. And then a voice. No one understood it, not even the Hive, and that made the Hive afraid. Armada in alarm. On the flagship Oblivion, Commander Zarian and Elder Kareen studied the signal. Kareen said, "This is not Hive, not human, not Maker. This is ... older." Zarian narrowed his eyes. "How old?" Kareen whispered, "Before the Makers. Before memory." They checked the signal source. It was coming from the edge of the galaxy, a place no one had gone in 1,000 years. "Call Ayla," Zarian ordered. "She must see this." Ayla's vision. Ayla was in the Arctic, recovering from her Hive link. But her body still glowed with alien energy. One night, she had a dream. A dark planet, floating in red clouds. With a whisper, "Remember us." She woke up shaking. She called Zane. "They're calling me," she said. "From far away. I saw it." Zane looked worried. "The Armada got a signal too. They're sending a team. You're on it." The journey to the edge. Ayla, Zane, Maya, and Raheel boarded an alien ship, the Selner. They traveled through wormholes, black holes, and ancient space. After many days they arrived. There was no planet, only a giant broken ring, floating around a dead star. It was massive, bigger than Jupiter, and it was alive. Raheel scanned it. "It's not just sending a signal, it's thinking." The message. The Hive worked for hours to decode the signal. Then it played. "We were the first. Before the Hive. Before the Makers. Before time. You built life from our ashes. Now we return." Everyone was silent. Elder Kareen gasped. "The architects," Raheel asked. "Who are they?" Kareen answered, "They made the Makers, then tried to destroy them. They are not gods. They are the beginning of all war." The awakening. Suddenly, the ring started moving. Parts of it spun slowly, forming a gate. Zarian shouted, "Pull back!" But it was too late. A beam of dark energy shot out. One Armada scout ship was instantly destroyed. Then something came out of the gate. A ship, but it wasn't built. It was grown. Black, organic, covered in glowing veins. It didn't attack. It just sent a message. "We see you, child of sin. We see your world. We return soon." Ayla changes. Ayla dropped to her knees. Her skin burned with glowing marks. She whispered, but her voice sounded doubled. "They're in my blood. They've always been. I am their key." Everyone stared at her. Zane stepped forward. "What do they want?" Ayla answered with fear in her eyes. "They want to finish what they started, the reset of all life. Earth prepares again." Back on Earth, the peace treaty was shaking. Many humans blamed the aliens, but Zarian sent a clear message. "We are not your enemy now. We may be your last protection." He offered Earth new weapons, shields, and training. But time was short. More ships were coming through the gate. Final Sanila stood at the top of the Earth Armada embassy. Her eyes glowed faintly blue and gold. Zane came beside her. "You're changing," he said. She nodded. "I'm not just human anymore." Zane asked, "What happens next?" She looked up. The stars seemed wrong. "They were sleeping," she whispered. "Now they're awake." 1. A sky filled with shadows. The ancient ring, now fully active, floated like a crown around a dying star. Dark ships, grown like living nightmares, poured through its gate. They did not attack. They watched. They waited. Every screen on Earth, And aboard the Armada ships blinked with the same message. You are made of broken stars. You were never meant to exist. We returned to cleanse what was stolen. 2. Earth's final meeting in a secret Earth bunker. Ayla stood with Zane, Maya, Raheel, Commander Zarian, and Elder Kareen. President Okoye looked around. Can we stop them? Kareen shook her head. Not with weapons. Not with armies. They were gods before gods had names, she whispered. Zarian stood. But Ayla, she is the key. The hive touched her. The architects speak through her. She might be the bridge. Everyone looked at Ayla. She stared down at her glowing hands. I don't know what I am anymore, she said quietly. 3. The truth of Ayla. Later, inside a chamber filled with hive relics, Ayla saw visions. The architects created the makers. Who created the hive? Who touched her? She was connected to all of them. In her vision, a voice spoke. You are the spark they feared. The first to hear all voices. One choice will decide if your kind survives. She gasped, falling to her knees. Raheel caught her. They're giving you a chance, he said. Yla looked at him. Or a test. 4. The last journey. Ayla, Zane, Maya, Raheel, and a small team entered a cloaked Armada ship. They flew straight into the dark fleet. No weapons. Just silence. As they neared the ring, one massive architect ship moved. It opened and invited them in. Inside was not metal. It was alive. Walls pulsed like a heart. Ayla stepped forward. A voice echoed around them. Speak, broken child. She looked up. Why destroy us? Because you are the sin of survival. You took what was not yours. Now you must return it. 5. Allah's choice. The voice continued. Give us your mind, child. You carry our signal. Through you, we will erase the error of life. Ayla hesitated. Zane shouted, Don't listen. You are more than them. But Ayla walked forward. Suddenly, she was inside a storm of memory. She saw Earth being born, the first stars. The architects creating galaxies like paintings. Then war. Betrayal, silence. They feared humans because humans changed things. 6. The hidden power. Ayla reached into her own mind and found something waiting. A small piece of pure light. A gift left by the hive when she was linked. She realized then, she wasn't just the key. She was the lock. She shouted, You fear us because we can choose. She opened the light inside her. A blinding wave exploded from her body. The architect's ship shook, screamed. The gate above the dead star began to break. 7. The final battle. Earth's armies and Armada forces watched the gate crack apart. The dark ships started moving to attack, but the hive ships, once distant, now returned, together with human and Armada fleets. They fought the approaching enemy. Ayla returned from the architect's ship, unconscious but alive. Zane carried her. Raheel shouted, The signal is weakening. Zarian gave the final order. All ships fire. Lasers, plasma, missiles, and hive energy struck the architect fleet, one by one. The ancient ships fell. The ring shattered. 8. A new dawn. The war was over. For now. The architects were gone, driven back into deep time. Ayla awoke in a medical chamber. You did it, Zane whispered. No, she replied softly. We did. The Treaty of the Stars was signed. Humanity, Hive, and Armada would now build together. Final. Sanila stood on a cliff overlooking the ocean. Children ran behind her. One stopped and asked, Did they really come from the beginning of time? She smiled. Yes, she said, and so did we. She looked at the stars. One of them blinked. A sign or a warning? Only time would tell.